first this morning. Yes, please.
I'm Jackie Asse, 929 Madison Street, Port Townsend, Washington. I am here representing the League of Women Voters of Jefferson County to encourage you to pass a resolution stating corporations do not have the same rights as natural persons and that money does not equal speech. We partnered with Occupy Port Townsend Anti-Citizens United Working Group in the collection of signatures petitioning your action. Corporations are not mentioned in the Constitution and are legal fictions with rights and powers endowed by we the people through our government. The proposed constitutional amendment asserts that artificial entities do not have the same inalienable rights as natural persons, but are subject to reasonable restrictions. The Founding Fathers left tight controls of corporations to the states, which worked quite well for about 100 years. Then in the 1880s, the courts allowed corporations the doctrine of due process to invalidate state regulations. In 1906, the court started granting corporations intangible rights. Corporations and the courts went into high gear in the 60s when federal regulations started to address environmental and consumer protection, minority and women's employment rights, and health and safety issues. Now corporations use the First Amendment to employ corporate speech, to influence referendum and candidate elections through campaign contributions and lobbying, to employ commercial speech, to use the national airwaves to advertise drugs and direct commercials at children, and even to use negative free speech in criticism in newspapers and access to voicing divergent opinions and hiding genetically modified food ingredients. Corporations use the Fourth Amendment for privacy rights in regard to random EPA inspections of chemical plants, blocking surprise OSHA inspections of the workplace, and preventing enforcement of the Sherman Antitrust Act, and preventing disclosure of what is in the liquid being pumped into fracking holes. Corporations use the Fifth Amendment for due process rights to avoid government investigations of possible misdoings and bar retrial after previous criminal conviction for antitrust activity, even when still misdoing. They use the 14th Amendment to charge slander, libel, harassment, or interference with contracts through slap suits against people who speak at public venues with anti-pollution or anti-nuclear options, not intending to win in court, but to shut people up. They use the 14th Amendment, saying they should be taxed the same as natural persons and should be treated the same in liability for injury. The proposed amendment is not about dismantling or banning corporations, but putting an end to the supremacy of artificial over real persons. Corporations are no more than fictional creatures existing only on
Jackie,
paper
then your
and
time's
podcast.
up. Thank you very much. Who would like to be next?